Hey, you want to go to the store with me real quick?
No.
Hey, can you drive me to the store real quick?
Yeah, sure. By the time I'm done with this speech, I hope you can understand my objective fully and truly understand the benefits of mastering this objective in order to live your life to the fullest. So, without further ado, my objective is how I think of pretty much everything negatively, or I have a negative response at first to pretty much everything. First things first, before I explain what my continuum would be of this habit or skill, I have to acknowledge the fact that this data might be a tad skewed in my favor to overcome this habit because of the quarantine. The quarantine has pretty much made me bored 24/7 even when I'm sleeping. So it's a lot easier for me to get over this habit because I want to do everything. I have no negative outlook on really doing anything because anything at all outside of sitting around all day is extremely interesting to me. So when I started this assignment, the far left, meaning the least desirable of the continuum, would be how I pretty much said no to literally everything anybody wanted me to do. Didn't want to go out of the house, didn't really feel like putting in any effort to really anything because I don't know, assumed some sort of laziness state that I was pretty accustomed to. Um, and then as time went on and I got better with this skill that I was trying to break, I would try and notice when people were asking me to do something that I might not want to do, and I would think, maybe a quick list of pros and cons of why this could be beneficial for me to do, and it might be a good idea to get out of the house, like I had in the first video. If someone asked me to go somewhere and drive them anywhere, what's the harm in driving someone to the store when I'm stuck in quarantine? Like I said, quarantine obviously makes it a lot easier to get over this habit, but regardless, what I'm usually doing when I say no to someone isn't much more fun than bringing someone somewhere. So, helping out a person in need, especially, is really a great tool. And as I moved through that continuum and got better and better, I started to realize that these new things that I was experiencing and kind of forcing myself to get outside and feel, were oftentimes exciting, engaging, and had me keep coming back to that same idea of how about I get outside and I do something a little bit out of my comfort zone. And I started to kind of like that little edge that I was feeling where I was trying something new, and it made it a lot easier as I got further down that continuum from the far left moving to the right, as to totally jump from being a pros and cons list to just pretty much, yep, I want to do it, let's do it. There was, the yeah sure was in the middle, and that was kind of what you saw in that second installment from the first hook video that I did there. And basically along that stage, it was just a couple pros here and there, and I would be like, all right, that sounds like a good idea, let's just do it because it could be fun. Who knows what'll happen, let's just do it and get it out of the way. Yep. One example that I took notes of early on in this experiment where I kind of weighed a pros and cons list out was my dad had asked me to go clean the fire pit that we had outside our house. And so I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm just watching TV, and I'm like, oh God, why the hell would I want to do that? Because let's be honest, who in their right mind would want to clean out soot from a fire pit? It smells terrible, and it can get your clothes all dirty, and then you smell terrible. It's just an awful thing. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. So basically, sitting on the couch there, I tried to apply how I would fix this habit, and I did. Basically, I just thought, why sit on the couch? You know what's going to happen to you if you sit on the couch. Your dad's probably going to get mad at you. You already understand what's going to happen with this TV show. Why do you continue to sit here on the couch? Why don't you get up, get a little blood pumping? Your endorphins will probably go up from being outside and actually working. So that's what I did. And do I regret getting up off the couch with the TV and the chips or whatever and getting outside and throwing sit around? No, I don't regret it at all. I mean, it smelled awful regardless, but I don't regret it for 1 second. And that's kind of one of the big moments where I realized that this thing was working. Down the continuum line, I was moving, because I started to do things that I really didn't want to do just because I had to. So the current ability that I was before I really started to work at this was just trying to, do that quick little pros and cons list, trying to get myself the proper motivation that I needed in order to really see the good of going with this person to do something, or it doesn't even matter going with them, maybe doing the dishes or just something around the house that would keep myself busy and keep my mind going instead of just sitting in that restful, just, still state. And now, where I'm at now with this stage is pretty much just saying yes to everything. And I don't even really have to think about it, because what I've done is, instead of weighing out pros and cons, I've just realized, why waste the time with pros and cons? There are so many more opportunities that you could learn from and have a good time with by going on this adventure. And the adventure might be, doing the laundry. There are so many more important things in my life that I could have, or fun things that could happen from doing the laundry, than sitting and doing whatever I was doing at that point. So really what I discovered was, in a sense, anything is better than what I was doing, because what I was doing I knew everything about. I knew what was going to happen. Basically, I think why I would always say no is somewhat of the fear of the unknown. And the fear of unknown kind of controlled what I wanted to do and didn't allow me to think outside the box and get outside my comfort zone. So with this whole quarantine thing really helping out, I kind of pushed me to be like, you know what? Let's get outside the comfort zone. Let's get out from the confines of this house, 6 feet apart. I didn't break the rules. So to wrap things up, this experiment was really beneficial for me. It allowed me to get rid of pretty much my most undesirable habit, and I learned a lot from it. It allowed me to live in the present and experience things well outside my comfort zone. Oftentimes these things I did not want to do, ended up doing them anyway, and it turned out for the best. As I moved down the continuum from the far left of me pretty much saying no to everything to the far right where I pretty much said yes to everything, it did get a lot easier. That's just because I realized there was nothing really to run from. I do recommend everybody work on having this habit removed of the not wanting to do anything, because it is great when you can really live outside your comfort zone and live life in the present. Thank you.